the classic intro. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of GeekVerse Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Dr. Phosphorus Taylorfield, and I'm joined by...
I am the government-issued Kirkland Patzer.
Yes, we are here, based on our nicknames, to be deep diving spoilers review into the new DC show, animated show, Creature Commandos by James Gunn. Looking forward to getting into our spoilers thoughts for episodes 1 and 2 tonight, and then weekly reviews following that. But before we get into our non-spoilers and spoilers, a couple of plugs. You can find us through your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. Also, check us out on the Patreon. Support the show there. You get ad-free, exclusive, early content. It's a great place to be. I also want to shout out our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April of Darkness, Jack Grant, Mud, Sam, Superbad Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, D Tall. You folks are fantastic. Love you guys very, very much. What else is cooking right now? We are also reviewing Skeleton Crew Star Wars. That is weekly as well on Tuesday nights. We got Dylan popping off with side quests, alternating hosts between yours truly and Mr. Kirkland Patzer here. I believe we're going to be doing the video game awards coverage soon, along with Indiana Jones, The Great Circle review as well. I'll be joining him with that. What else do we got? Anything popping in your mind, Kirkland, or am I just blanking out?
Yeah, I feel like we have more reviews coming up, but I guess we're just kind of in the middle of them, and you just listed off Creature Commandos. We got a couple, films coming out here pretty soon around the Christmas time. We were murmuring off cast about a Nosferatu, watch sometime. Maybe we'll be getting a review out for that one. That would be nice, but.
Well, you reminded me. I just bought my Craven ticket today, actually, for next week.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe forgot about Craven. That's right, Craven War for the Rohirrim.
Yeah,
my goodness, that is exciting. So yes, we got 2 film reviews coming up, and should be a good time.
Should be a good time. Well, all that good stuff aside, I need to hear it, Kirkland. Your non-spoilers thoughts, your just first impressions, and just in general, like, were you excited for this show going into it?
I was very excited for the show going into it. I feel like when we initially got the James Gunn takeover of DC, when he just complete militarily took over the company. No, I'm kidding. Well, I didn't have much interest maybe like around that time until I actually saw images and like screenshots and just the characters and kind of more information on what it was. It definitely spiked my interest levels, and yeah, leading up to it, I've been scratching at the bits. I woke up this morning. It was a sad day. We just don't have it in Canada, apparently. Creature Commandos, no release in our great nation of Canada. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe someone out there that knows more information can help us out, but we ended up finding a blockbuster of sorts that had the first 2 episodes of Creature Commandos for us, so we were able to enjoy it. But yeah, no, I really, really dig this. I feel like it's pretty much what I was hoping it would be. I didn't really know too much story-wise, like where we were going to go around these characters. I really don't know much about any of them, even though we've seen like a couple of them in live action. Well, actually, no, we've only
literally
seen
a couple.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a couple, literally. So, but I don't know. It just seemed like a fun ragtag crew. Definitely on par with like what we got with the like the later Suicide Squad. Like the James Gunn one, Peacemaker. Yes, I always say Peacekeeper accidentally, but that time I actually got it. And yeah, no, just the animation style as well reminded me of shows that I'm really, really digging right now, specifically on like the Prime network with Invincible and The Legend of Vox Machina, which honestly, Legend of Vox Machina, I think is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my entire life, and not enough people have seen that show, so definitely go watch that. But no, just the animation style totally reminded me of it. And once I got into it and just got to see the first 2 episodes of the show, I can gladly say I'm really, really digging it. It's really nice to be, I was gonna say in this era. They've kind of already always been around, but just maybe more so new ones focused on comic book stuff, or in the case of Legend of Vox Machina, it's like D&D focused. We have the Great Arcane that came out, the League of Legends show, but just these more like mature cartoon shows. Especially like I'm a big anime fan, and anime has always had like more mature content, I would say, especially for like an animated series. They obviously there's infinite genres for anime, but just the more mature audience focused stuff. Oh, the other show I would shout out is like the Harley Quinn show. I'm not sure if you caught any of those episodes, but definitely in the same vein of what this is, where it's just more f bombs, bloodier. There's some spicy scenes that go on in here, and I don't know. I just really am really digging this. I feel like the episodes are shorter though than I would have wanted. Like episode 1 was 22 minutes. Can't remember what episode 2 was. But yeah, I definitely would have liked it more in the 40-minute range, and that's just purely because I am enjoying it so much. So, I guess it's a good thing, and I'm really interested in kind of what's going to come out of this. Like if this is going to do well numbers wise, and DC wants to keep going down this avenue, if this is just going to kind of be a 1-season thing, or I don't know, like maximum 2-season thing. I'm just really curious, and if we're going to be getting more animated stuff like this under the DC banner. I'm curious. I'm digging it, and I want more for sure. And I pretty much, I don't know. I was gonna say like I like all of our characters. We really didn't get to spend much time with all of our characters in the first 2 episodes. It seems like we're focusing more on only a couple, and I am hoping that within these 7 episodes that we're gonna be getting this season, we do have enough time to kind of maybe let me rephrase that. Not necessarily have enough time to like go into everyone's backstory and everything, but just maybe giving each character a moment to shine and making the viewer like these characters. Maybe not so much Weasel, but the other characters. But it's good. It's good. Totally digging it.
Cool. I went into this with kind of low expectations, and when the fact that it was not available in Canada, because I got up early this morning and I thought, okay, I want to put it on, and it just really upset me. Like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? This is just such a setback. But find a way to report and review these things for the fans, for the community. And so here we are. But it was just that kind of was a bit of a setback. That being said, I digress. Getting into the show was there was some stuff where I was just kind of inclining my head thinking like, wow, really? Like, are we really doing this? And then other things that were just like very small, minor things where just like a character standing there and just speaking. And I'm just thinking that the stuff that they're saying, and in this context of the situation, when you actually think about it, is actually hilarious. And I'll pinpoint what scene that is in particular. That was my favorite scene, in the spoilers when we get to that. But yeah, it's an interesting band of characters. But I think I need to watch a couple more episodes, because right now I'm not feeling like super, super hot on it. I feel like for me, that bar is set so high with X-Men.
Animated series and the X-Men 97.
Yes, I feel like that bar has just been put up there by that show. That being said, of course, I'm a little biased because I know a little bit more about all the different characters and the backstory, but when it comes to the Marvel animated show, with this, I naturally have gravitated towards Dr. Phosphorus. I just kind of like his character a little bit. He reminds me of like a Skinner from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, who has the visual appearance of Ghost Rider, so he's definitely kind of my jam. But yeah, I just gonna have to wait and see a couple more episodes to kind of get a proper gauge and temperature on how I'm feeling with this, because so far it's just not latching on anything special. And I guess I'll kind of just leave it at that for now.
There you go. One of us loves it, one of us hates it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about hate.
I'm
lukewarm.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add in non-spoilers before we get into it?
No, let's crack this puppy.
All right, we're gonna crack it after this quick ad break, and we're cracking it. So, where do you want to start here?
Start with our characters. Is there anyone? Well, you mentioned Doctor Phosphorus. I guess that's your obvious lover. What about Rick Flag Senior? And we saw Oh my gosh, what's her name? Viola
The
Davis.
princess.
No, Viola
Oh,
Davis's character.
Waller.
Waller. Yeah, we get to see Waller in here, and I feel like in my mind I kind of forgot that this is like connected to the actual like events of things that have happened in the DC universe. So luckily they're they're talking about some of those moments specifically with Rick Flag Jr. I guess, and the offing that he was subject to in his film. But and then yeah, Weasel, just mentioning he's the only one that made it out of his he's the only one that made it out of that mission. So he must be tough. I kind of like that line, but yeah, just kind of how we're like picking up and then introducing the crew. It felt like very Suicide Squad-y in that sense of like, I don't know. Also just highlighting like how much of an awful person Waller is. She's like going out of her way to just have this like unethical super team of just troopers. She's like so dead set on having them. So can't have humans, so we're gonna have just monsters in this role. And but yeah, just like going through the roster introduction, it just felt very Suicide Squad-y because they just have all these prisons with, I guess, just soldiers ready for the picking. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, just some of the lines I guess they were saying when they were going through each character's roster. I really like the GI robot character. I can definitely just appreciate his like robotic humor in the sense that he's just a robot from World War II and he's just like programmed that way, and just the line delivery, the things that he says are good. So yeah.
The things that he's saying are definitely making me laugh when he's on guard duty. Everyone's kind of asleep or doing their own thing, and you just hear echoing through the hall is like, there was the battle in Germany across the lake. I killed 97 Nazis that day. Oh, the battle in that tower. I
At
killed
first I thought it was like
Nazis.
the radio going on at first, but no, he's just talking. He's just talking to whoever's listening, whoever's awake still.
Yeah, his character definitely cracks me up. He's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
And then what was the character? Basically, like the female version of the fish from Hellboy. Was it Sir?
That's
or something
that's
like
the
that?
one character I don't remember her name.
Okay, I should look that up. But yeah, it definitely reminded me of. Do you remember the gentleman from Hellboy? What his name is? Hellboy's fish friend.
Abraham.
Wow, you are good. I think you got it.
He's got a last name too, but
Still, you're on first name basis. That's impressive.
it's gotta bother me if I don't.
Yeah,
Abe Sapien. Yeah, Abraham
Abe Sapien.
Sapien.
Oh, okay. Yes. No, I like the character, and yeah, just interesting look. But it seems like for this at least initial part of the season, we're gonna really be focusing on the bride and Frankenstein and that dynamic, because that's pretty much what these first two episodes were really centered around. But what do you feel about the bride?
I think she's actually pretty cool for a character, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about that in Frankenstein. And it's just weird to think like this is the same universe as Batman, and I know people in DC fans are really breaking it down like, oh yeah, this continues off of the narrative from Suicide Squad and yada yada yada. And James Gunn is like canning out these other characters and so forth, and I understand that, but in my head canon right now, this is the same universe as Jared Leto's Joker, as Ben Affleck's Batman, all these different characters that we've been introduced to so far. And so just knowing that Ben Affleck's Batman exists in this world where we have a Frankenstein and we have a bride of Frankenstein is just so bonkers to think about. But it works because it's an animated show a little bit more than being the live action, I guess. But her origin story in these first two episodes, it's interesting, but I don't feel like I really needed it. I don't need to know about this love story triangle between Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein because I don't know. In retrospect, where they go and how they deliver in the end game of this narrative, I'll be able to see like, okay, this really paid off. I understand why they did this, and I actually really enjoyed the overall story that they were trying to tell here. But right now, as it being the introductory kind of narrative, I'm kind of like apprehensive with it. I don't know. So I just need to wait and see. I will say I was not expecting it. It was crazy just to see the doctor just going like Pound Town on the
Oh
bride. Just
yeah,
like fuck,
the
that is
necrophiliac.
that is absolutely it. And you just see out out on the side of the room Frankenstein just crying, watching like just voyeurism at its finest.
Oh my gosh.
Necrophilia, like
Yeah, no,
God.
there's I mean, even like episode 1 when the princess Ilyana just drops her everything in front of
Oh my
Rick Flag Singer. It's
God.
like, "Oh man, we're going here in the show." And again, like that's what it reminds like Vox Machina has like just straight up like animated titties in it. So like they are it's pretty raunchy in some avenues, and I feel like just because it's DC, I was still like thrown off by just seeing how there isn't full on animated boobs in here. They definitely do some interesting angled shots, but still, just the fact that they're making it steamy like that. I guess we see some cheeks from the doctor, Victor's cheeks going
Yep.
to town on the bride there. So yeah, no, it's got that mature rating for a reason. They're going for it. But I found her name. The fish lady's name is Nina Mazursky.
Nina.
Do not remember that name at all in the episodes, so apologies to all the Nina fans. But yeah, she was fish out of water at the end of the second episode there, eh?
Yeah, she was not doing too good. Not doing. That's not where you want to be in that situation. God
No.
damn.
I think I remember like seeing screenshots of her like not in like the tube thing. So I don't know if I'm not really worried that she's dead or anything. I don't think they would have killed off this character in the second episode, especially because she's like all over the posters and everything. But I guess it wouldn't be the first time that they did that, right? At the start of Suicide Squad, all the marketing with like Pete Davidson and everything.
Yeah, James Gunn kind of has an act for doing that, unless it's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Did you find it funny that he's like in the opening credits? He like animated a character under himself.
I do think it's.
You think Travis hates it? I feel like Travis hates that.
I'm not going to speak for Travis, but my assumption is that he really loves this show and everything about it and has zero
Okay.
cons.
There you go.
But
Interesting.
I think it's funny I think it's fitting for James Gunn to do something like that. I feel like he probably will like watch the show and this is maybe I'm being a little bit too mean, but just like look at it and like admire it. Like, yeah, there I am. Like,
It's like, what if we make Victor like me? Like I'm the one phoning the dead lady.
God, no. Oh, no.
Just like episode 1 and 2, like this is, and this is like the first like James Gunn like project, right, under the new like DC Bullet banner, and if I'm not mistaken, unless there's a project that came up before this that.
Well, under his rule, yes, I believe this is. But
like this
his
was like
first-
the start of like kind of his timeline, right, of like his takeover.
I can't remember if Peacemaker season 1 was. Well, that was pre his takeover. Yeah, that was pre.
Yeah. So
yeah, so
I can't quite remember. Apologies there, but yeah, no, just like episode 1 and 2 of like his first lead thing. He's like in the opening credits, and then he's just like this character that's just going to town on the Bride of Frankenstein. Gosh,
I could
that
see
would
him
be-
trying to create a Stan Lee equivalent where he just puts himself in his different projects.
I feel like that's so like egotistical to do. Like I feel like most people are really. It's not going to go over well if him just trying to be like a Stan Lee.
He animated himself. I mean, who knows how far this man's gonna go?
That's true. That's true.
But I mean, Rick Flag Senior is a character. You got Frank Grillo doing the voice there, and him just going to town, like trying to like say no to Queen Alana at first, and then just in the bathroom, he just like says "fuck it," and he just goes for it. It's like, man, this is. Yeah, like this, like I don't necessarily feel like I need this because this is just it feels redundant to the story. And then you got them showing up and he's bowing incorrectly, and the guard's like, "We're gonna execute you." It's like I'm not finding this funny. I don't find it really funny at all. So
it definitely, I feel like although I am liking the show, I will admit that like it wasn't like a mind blowing opening like something like Invincible would have had. Like the first episode of Invincible, by the end of it, you're like jaws dropped and like you just can't wait to get to the next episode. And I feel like I didn't really get that here. If the whole series dropped, I probably would have just binged it, honestly, because they are shorter episodes and I don't know. It was just a good enough time, and it did feel like as we were going from episode 1 to 2, I was getting more interested. So I hope that keeps up. Like I hope by episode 3 and 4 and 5, I am just getting more and more interested. But um, I don't know. I also just don't like particularly the route of like a short episode show that's only 7 episodes long and being weekly releases. Like I would I don't know. I just feel like it's like what's that'd be like basically a 2 hour movie, right? If they just dropped it all at once, like it would seem like I don't know, pretty palatable in that way. Like I guess my point that I'm trying to get to is just if they are really short episodes and they aren't like the hardest hitting every time, people might be losing interest as the show's going on. Even though, like I just laid out that I'm kind of the opposite. I am enjoying it as we're going
Mm-hmm.
along, but it's also only 2 episodes out, so we'll see what happens going forward. And yeah, just if they are able to keep, you know, at least me interested, that and I'm someone that's really digging the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well said. Um, what are characters have we got in here? I mean,
Um, yeah, well, not a lot of Weasel at all in the first two
and
episodes
that's
here.
exactly what I anticipated. I mean,
Yeah,
he's peeing inside the transport, and Phosphorus
that's
is
right.
freaking out. He's screaming inside the, oh, what do they call those things?
The
Oh
Pelican,
my god. Yeah,
or
whatever.
is that what it's
Not
called?
it's not called a pelican. No, that's Halo.
That's
It has
Halo.
another
Yeah.
name. Has another name. I can't remember, but it's basically the type of flying vehicular device with a
Yes.
specific name. And yeah, Weasel's just freaking out because of what happened last time, which I guess is a good little nod to the second,
It's
the
got
Suicide Squad.
PTSD.
Yeah, he's got PTSD. Um,
Um, I was gonna just mention kind of like I guess the antagonist is Cersei.
mhm.
From Themyscira. I like the whole setup of what it was. It was kind of funny just seeing like the news outlet and like people getting like interviewed, and it just felt like it's funny how like doofusy they had like the male dudes like that were answering like the news answers, and it just seemed funny and sad at the same time how like real it felt like they felt like real people like from today of just like, oh yeah, Themyscira is interesting, but like it's only women. Oh, it's sexist. It's like the woke females out there, and like it's just like, oh my god, this is hilarious. So to just start the show in that way was funny, but it's just an interesting dynamic having like a what's the word I'd be looking for, like a more extreme, I guess, like Themysciran character, and just like seeing her showcase of powers. I really like the battle between the bride and her, and just having the bride show her kind of skill set. She's pretty badass, whipping her coat off and then just like blasting guns and stuff. And I liked seeing Cersei kind of like use her magic to like dissolve the bullets into like those little butterfly effects that were going off. It was just yeah, really good looking. I've seen much better, you know. I'm not going to say it's the best thing I've ever seen, but still, it was a nice little climactic moment to have, to open the series with like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Oh, what
And
else?
uh, I guess so. Yeah, our main threat would have been Cersei, the Themysciran threat, whatever we want to call her group. I can't remember what their
I can't
title
remember
was.
what they're called. Yeah.
And then the other side would be Frankenstein. And I like the little montage that we had, but like of basically since 1800s, I think it was. Frankenstein's just been trying to get the bride like all through time. We had a little montage of him just chasing her through like the Egyptian pyramid era, more like Western time. So yeah, I like that little just montage of seeing these characters who it would seem they're pretty immortal if they're just dead characters. Um, yeah, no, just what do you think's gonna happen? I guess out of the Frankenstein character, like it seems like it's set up that he's just gonna be part of the crew, especially with all like the labeling and marketing materials that we've had. I don't think he's like really gonna be the main threat going forward, but um, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic of playing on like the classic Frankenstein monster. Um,
Yeah,
character thing there. And, yeah.
it is, and I'm thinking you're probably right. Where he's gonna be just another member of the crew and join up. Uh, it was a neat little montage of seeing every like 20 to 30 years he catches up with her and tries to get her, and she's just like no and kicks his ass and then runs away. I think I don't know. We're probably going to get some kind of conversation with resolution between the two of them, considering that we just got kind of her whole backstory here in relation to him. But yeah, I'm just not sure if they're going to keep him in the long run or if David Harbour's Frankenstein is going to go boot and get kicked out. But it was kind of cool to see him just be miserable, which leads me to another thing. His little hench lady that gives him the call, this pulled me out, and I feel like it's just kind of like a redundant humor when she gets her phone to make the call, and then there's like a real world live action pic. I'm pretty sure that was Zac Efron shirtless and on her screen, and then she like hit like the call button to call Frankenstein. I thought, okay, I didn't need to see that. This weird like Polka-stan woman hermit lady with a Zac Efron wallpaper, like not
I
even
actually didn't
animated,
even
just
see
a
that,
real.
honestly. I
No,
must have looked away in that moment. Yeah, that's hilarious. That would have
pulled me
taken me
out.
out, I think. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Very, very fair. um, the scene that I think you might have were alluding in the spoiler-free section that really got me was when well, we'll see if we link up here, but when Rick Flag submits, I guess, to Alana, and then you have Dr. Phosphorus just interacting with like the guard outside, and then you just hear like the pounding on the door and everything, and just like the way that he handles that news. And then of course when Rick Flag Sr. comes out afterwards, like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, I'm sorry for being a bro, man, helping you out there. Like it was a nice little moment, because I feel like it was showing us some embers of like what the chemistry amongst the characters can be. And yeah, I like you, I did actually really like the character of Dr. Phosphorus, and I like the moment when he's sneaking into Rick Flag's bedroom to get the remote, and he looks over and it's just like a zoom in shot of his crotch, and he looks up
Yeah,
and
that
just
was funny.
kicks him right in his face. Yeah, no, I think not all the humor is hitting me. Like the Zac Efron thing, I didn't see that, but I think I would have been right with you. It just pulls me out there. But the moments that are hitting are definitely hitting well for me, and it's the type of humor that reminds me of some of the funny moments from something like Vox Machina, or other shows that I've seen lately. So yeah, I'm digging it, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that in the long run, I'm hoping that a lot of this humor kind of just does turn around for me. And again, that being said, a lot of the stuff in here I was laughing at, but I just felt like some stuff, as I already said, was a little redundant and wasn't really feeling it. Whatnot. Shout outs to Hunter Iggy in the chat. Doing good. Hope you're doing good as well. Yeah, I think I'll have to see how we're going with the narratives, see how we're kind of progressing with these characters, and I think I'm going to get attached to a few of them. But like you said, with Phosphorus, just kind of like perusing through the Rick Flag's chest and like looking for the control switch and whatnot. I do appreciate the detail of that fight that they had, because like when Rick Flag punches Phosphorus, he's like, oh fuck my hand, and then he ends up putting like an oven mitt on so he can grab his head and like smack it. So those are cool little details. Like, I really appreciate that. But so far I just put X-Men animated series 97 up on this pedestal, and that's my go-to superhero cartoon, right?
No, very fair. It's definitely not in the same caliber there.
Yeah. I think that's it, unless you got anything else to drop on us here.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know. Yeah, no, I was gonna. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought there. I guess what I would ask you is, like, would you recommend this show to other peoples and DC fans? Big no. Not
I think
necessarily?
DC fans are gonna love it.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I can't see them having any. Well, I'm not gonna say I can't see them having any problems, because I feel like DC fans can somehow find the problems in things, and I mean that
Ooh,
with all the
attack
love
on
in my
DC.
heart.
Look at that.
I know. Marvel fans are doing it too, and Star Wars fans. I mean, Star Wars fans are justified when I say that. So, I think,
Yes.
though, when it comes to this show, if I were to recommend it, I would, based on the person and my relationship to that person, if I know them very well and what kind of stuff that they like. And I think most people, like, I can kind of gauge to, like, oh yeah, you probably would really really like this show. But I'm not going to be watching this with like any kid, like my daughter, or like recommend it to any like
Definitely not.
younger folks or anything, because I think it's a little bit, not.
TVMA is the reading.
Is it
Yeah.
mature
TVMA.
audience? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know all the ratings very well, so I'm gonna have to learn that. When you get to that point where you're just old, you can just go in and watch whatever.
If
You
you
don't
see
have to care
Victor's
anymore.
naked ass going to town on a corpse lady, yeah, it's TVMA. Let's be honest.
I feel like James Gunn saw that Nosferatu trailer and was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna
Let's
top
revisit
that."
this. Yeah, let's revisit
Let's
this.
revisit. That's why
Let's
there's that
scrap the
spike
whole, yeah.
on the YouTube trailer that you can see. It was just James Gunn revisiting it.
Him and all of his editors, he had them just like focusing on that scene. Shot for shot remake for Victor
Yeah.
going to town.
Oh my
That's
god.
funny.
Well, anything in closing, or are we cashing it?
Cash the check, Feige.
All right, cash
Or
the check.
Gun, whoever you believe.
Well, we're going to be back next week with another episode of Creature Commandos, episode 3, and also we'll be back with all the other stuff. Maybe we'll slide in impromptu news, but we'll see how that goes. We will be back nonetheless. So, everyone, we'll see you in the search bar.
Goodbye.